You know, sometimes you've accomplished something with software that's actually pretty friggin' cool, but it just doesn't demo that well. So I'm going to show a demo of, I don't know, it won't be that impressive unless you kind of understand what's happening. In fact, maybe it's not even that impressive, even if you do understand what's happening, but I'm going to demo it anyways. Can't help myself. Can't help myself. When I think I'm clever, I want the world to know it. Okay. So every web browser has got inside of it some way to read WAV files, built into the browser. You don't have to write that code to read in a WAV file. There's all kinds of people that have worked on it and debugged it and shipped multiple releases of the browser with all kinds of bug fixes, and they've got millions of users. They know every nook and cranny of that WAV file format. And every time that somebody has a WAV file that just doesn't work, well, maybe 100 people had to have that same problem, but a bug got filed and the browser team fixed it. They made it so that their browser will read in WAV files. Okay, now for writing WAV files, that's different. That's not like a normal thing you do with the browser. It's not built into the web audio standard that all browsers implement. So if you want to write a WAV file, like, what do I mean by write a WAV file inside of a browser? I mean, you've got some audio. Maybe it came from the microphone. Maybe it came from loading in a different WAV file. And then maybe you make some changes to it. In my case, I do make changes to it. And then you encode the bytes that follow this ancient but wonderful format, RIFF. Why am I reverent of a file format? I don't know. It's just thinking of all the people that worked on it and how it survived the test of time. That's where the reverence comes from. Okay, so you encode this audio into the right bytes that make a WAV file. That has to be done without using the built-in browser functions. Okay, now it's a fairly complex format. I've been going through it for a while in different specs. There's a very well-written set of documentation for it by Microsoft, but it's old. It's old. It doesn't have everything in it. Then there's more recent specifications. They're more complete, but they're not so easy to understand. They seem to leave out things or just assume the person implementing has already got it, that they know exactly what what the PCM format's going to look like. This is all they have for the PCM format. It's not quite enough for me. I look at the Microsoft documentation, and it told me everything I needed to know. But the Microsoft documentation, it didn't have the most recent expected values that would go in certain parts of the file, or it didn't. The format chunk was different. Okay, so I kind of cobbled together the right way to write a WAV file based on looking at a couple different specs and also Copilot generated code, which is surprisingly competent. And yeah, now I've got an ability to write WAV files. So if I go to, I'll just click one of these guys. Actually, here, I'll do a better demo. Let's record a new line. I'm going to record this in the browser. If you just hold it for 3 minutes, I'll hurry. Okay, so there's my take. Now, normally when I click this button, it just plays the audio back. But I've just rigged it up right now to instead generate the WAV file and make it downloadable. And then so if I come into the browser and I say, let's just play this baby. Let's just play it. Or not the browser, but the Finder. If you just hold it for 3 minutes, I'll hurry. So a new code did its job, and that's nice. That's real nice. Now there are third-party libraries that can be used to read and write WAV files. I did start with one of them. I picked the one that was the most complete and seemed to have the most rigorous standards. It was full of unit tests. It had a lot of usage on it. I'm not going to say anything bad about that project. I won't even name it. I guess what I'm about to say sort of implies there's something wrong with it, so that's why I won't name it. But when I wrote files with it, depending on what I wrote, I would not be able to read them back in. And I realized that troubleshooting those problems and solving them inside the library was probably going to be more time consuming than just writing the code I needed by itself. That might sound arrogant because this is a project that the person who maintains it has spent, I'm sure, hundreds of hours working on. But he had to write all kinds of functionality beyond what I need. So I only have to implement enough for my use cases. I can do it correctly. I can refer to specs and check things along the way. And I will also be able to read in that same data. Now, I said confusingly that the web browser already is able to read in WAV files. It is, but it's not able to read in the animation timing. And I'm going to write the animation timing, lip animation timing directly into the WAV file and read it back in. And the WAV file format definitely allows for this. There's actually specification around this particular thing. So what that means is we'll have WAV files that if there's software that is able to interpret those lip animation timing events, they can show animated lip movements that go along with the playback of speech. And Wisp will be that software. I'm not doing anything so terribly new, but yeah, anyways, I am kind of happy about the prospect of using these often ignored nooks and crannies of the RIF file format to get this done. All right, so I've succeeded in generating WAV files using my own code, and now I want to expand that WAV writing code to also add in the animation timing events. So you're going to see me next ending the demo portion of this stream and going right on to the coding portion of the stream. I'm going to talk a lot less and write a lot more code, and maybe also read a lot more, because I still need to figure out the correct formats for some of these things. Okay, I'll start with the Microsoft spec because it is so accessible as far as how they've written it and how complete it is. I'm looking for a subchunk for cues. Here it is, the cue points chunk. Okay, QCK. Okay, so there's a standard header at the beginning of the subchunk, and then there's what, one cue point or multiples? It says the cue point fields, so that implies, okay, it says cue point table here, it says count of cue points here. Okay, so there's this little part at the beginning of the subchunk that's going to give us a number of cue points here, and then I write the cue points, and DW name. So this is just a an ID, essentially. And they have to be unique. So this might as well just be a integer auto incrementing 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. Then we have the position. I honestly don't understand why the format was created this way. Maybe I will later. The position, the sample position. Okay. Sample number within the play order. See playlist chunk. Put in this document for discussion of the play order. Specifies the name or chunk ID of the chunk containing the cue point. That's curious to me. So that might point to the data subchunk. I'm confused by them saying chunk here. Oh, maybe I need to... Maybe this isn't a subchunk. I don't know. This is confusing me a little bit, to be honest. Specifies the final position of the start of the chunk containing the cue point relative to the start of the data section of the WAV all list chunk. Whew. I don't get this yet. Okay, the following table describes, this is an example. Following table describes the cue point field values for a WAV file containing a single data chunk. Okay, so within the PCM data, wow, I don't get this yet. I did not get this. And then there's a playlist chunk. Let me go back up. One thing I'm getting a little confused about is chunk versus subchunk. And is when they say chunk, are they really meaning what I've been calling a subchunk? This. Okay, so we do riff. So riff is a chunk. Like riff is a chunk. I don't know. I feel like I'm gonna want to do this stuff off stream because I'm just researching. It's not going to be very conversational. It's not going to be fun to watch. Not that anything I do is fun to watch, but I see no point in broadcasting it. So I'm going to keep going this, but I'm going to go off stream. All right. Stopping the stream. Stopping the stream. Stop.